Whenever I ask a new client what is going on in his or her life, I usually get one of the above answers. I never get to do what I want to do. I can't please anyone. I don't know what I want to do. There is never any time for me. But I know these complaints are only the outer effects of the inner thought patterns, and they really think they know the problem. Beneath the inner thought patterns is the another deeper, more fundamental pattern that is the basis of all our outer effects. I listen to the words they use as I ask some basic questions like what is happening in your life, how is your health, what do you do for a living, do you like your work? I watch the body postures and the facial movement, but mostly I really listen to the words they say. Thoughts and words create the outer experience. As I listen to them, I can readily understand why they have these particular problems. The words we speak are indicative of our inner thoughts. Sometimes the words they use do not match the experiences they describe. Then I know that they are either not in touch with what is really going on or they are lying to me. Either one is a starting point and gives the basis from which to begin. The next thing I do is to give them a pad and pen and ask them to write on a piece of a paper that says I should dash dash dash. They ought to make a list of 5 or 6 ways to finish that sentence. Some people find it difficult to begin and some have so many things to write that it's hard for them to stop. I then ask them to read the list to me one at a time, beginning each sentence with I should. The answers come out are very interesting, such as my mother said I should, or because I am afraid not to. The answers show me where they are stuck in their beliefs and what they think their limitations are. I make no comments on their answers. When they are through with their list, I talk about the word should. You see, I believe that should is the one of the most damaging words in our language. Every time we use should, we are in effect saying wrong. Either we are wrong or we were wrong or we are going to be wrong. I don't think we need to do more wrongs in our life. We need to have more freedom of choice. I would like to take the word should and remove it with the vocabulary forever. I would replace it with the word could. Could give us choice and we are never wrong. We often find they have been berating themselves for years for something they never wanted to do in the first place. Or they have been criticizing themselves for not doing something when it was never their idea to begin with. Often it was just something someone else said they should do. When they can see that they can just drop it from the should list, then what a relief that is. So think what is there on your should list that could be dropped with a sense of relief. Loving the self. I continue to explain that no matter what their problem seems to be, there is only one thing I ever work on with anyone, and this is the loving the self. Love is the miracle cure. Loving ourselves work miracles in our life. I am not talking about vanity or arrogance or being stuck up, for that is not love. It is only fear. I am talking about having a great respect for ourselves and a gratitude for a miracle of our bodies and our minds. Love to me is the appreciation to such a degree that it fills my heart to bursting and overflows. Love can go in any direction. I can feel love for the process of life itself, the joy of being alive, the beauty I see, knowledge, the process of minds, the universe, and the way it works. Let's look at some of the ways we don't love ourselves. We scold and criticize ourselves endlessly. We mistreat our bodies with food, alcohol, and drugs. We choose to believe we are unlovable. We are afraid to charge a decent price for our services. We create illness and pain in our bodies. We procrastinate on things that would benefit us. We live in disorder. We create burdens. We attract lovers and mates who belittle us. What are the sum of your ways? If we deny our good in any way, it is the act of not loving ourselves. I remember a client I worked with who wore glasses. One day, we released an old fear from childhood. Next day, she awakened to find her contact lenses were bothering her too much to wear. She looked around and found her eyesight was perfectly clear. Yet, she spent the whole day saying, "I don't believe it, I don't believe it." She couldn't even believe she had created a perfect eyesight. Lack of self-worth is another expression of not loving ourselves. The perfection of babies. How perfect you were when you were a tiny baby. Babies do not have to do anything to become perfect. They are already perfect and they act as if they know it. They know they are the center of the universe. They are not afraid to ask what they want. They freely express their emotions. You know, when a baby is angry, in fact, the whole neighborhood knows. You also know when your babies are happy, for their smiles light up a room. They are full of love. Tiny babies will die if they do not get love. Once we are older, we learn to live without love. But babies will not stand for it. Babies also love every part of their bodies, even their own faces. They have incredible courage. You were like that. We all are like that. Then we began to listen to adults around us who had learned to be fearful, and we began to deny our own magnificence. So I give them an exercise. I ask the clients to pick up a small mirror, look into their own eyes and say their names and "I love and accept you exactly as you are." This is so difficult for many people. Seldom do I get a calm reaction, let alone enjoyment from this exercise. Some cry or so close to tears, some get angry, some belittle their futures or qualities, some insist they can't do it. I even had one man throw the mirror across the room and want to run away. It took several months before he could begin to relate to himself in the mirror. This simple exercise showed me so much. In less than an hour, I am able to get to some of the core issues that are beneath the outer problem. If we work only on the level of the problem, we can spend endless time working out each and every detail, and the minute we think we have it all fixed up, it will crop us everywhere else. Seeing yourself as a child. If we were to take a 3-year-old child and put him in the middle of the room, and you and I were start yelling at the child, telling him how stupid he was, how he could never do anything right, how he should do this and shouldn't do that, and look at the mess he made, and maybe hit him a few times, we would end up with a frightened little child who sits in the corner or who tears up the place. The child will go one of these two ways, but we will never know the potential of the child. If we take the same little child and tell him how much we love him, how much we care, that we love the way he looks and love how bright and clever he is, that we love the way he does things and that it's okay for him to make mistakes as he learns, and that we will always be there for him no matter what, then the potential of the child comes out. Each one of us has a 3-year-old child within us, and we often spend most of our time yelling at that kid in ourselves. Then we wonder why our lives don't work. If you had a friend who has always criticizing you, would you want to be around that person? Perhaps you were treated this way as a child, and that is sad. However, that was a long time ago, and if you are now choosing to treat yourself in the same way, then it is sadder still. So now, here in front of us, we have a list of negative messages we heard as a child. How does this list correspond with what you believe to be wrong with you? Are they almost the same? We base our life script on our early messages. We are all good little children and obediently accept what they tell us as truth. It would be very easy just to blame our parents and be victims for the rest of our lives. But that wouldn't be much fun, and it certainly wouldn't get us out of our stuck position.